the Backwoods Moonshine Museum in Eastern Kentucky. Off the beaten path, an authentic experience on the Moonshine Trail.
You know, we're trying to preserve some of the moonshine history, you know, doing the museum here. As you can see behind me, we built the steel, you know, that's how the old timers made whiskey, was with wood. Most people use electric or propane nowadays. But we've got a lot of interesting stuff, you know, that tells the history about moonshining.
This museum is going to feature the old ways of doing things. So maybe through this museum, you know, Donnie can carry on the tradition and show the old ways of doing things, and we can preserve that.
You know, I think having the trail is going to be really good for Kentucky because, you know, moonshining years ago, everybody, that's how they raised their family. Most people did, especially around here. That's how my grandpa raised his family, was making whiskey. And plus, Kentucky's known for bourbon. You can't have bourbon without making moonshine first. Then you age it and turn it into bourbon. Yeah, we got a phone call one day, and it was from the Moonshiner show. And when they called, when I answered the phone, you know, they told me what was going on. I said, yeah, right. I thought somebody was just messing with me. But we had a friend that gave them our name, and they called us, and the producers of the show, they got on a plane and flew to Lexington and then rented a car and drove to here. And I took them and showed them around, and they loved it here. They said it was the prettiest place they'd ever seen. And that's how we got on the show.
It's going to be good for people to come and visit and see this place that they got to see on TV, meet, you know, local moonshiners that were on Discovery Channel Moonshiner Show. Donnie's an authentic moonshiner, has a lot of history with his family and things like that.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that I have here is a rock that came out of Popcorn Sutton's last run, the steel that they built, him and J.B. Rader did. I got to go there back in the winter. It's in a protected area now, and they won't let anybody go there. But because I was with JB, they let us go. It was like 5 or 6 miles up a mountain. And we got the rock out of the steel, and JB signed it, and I brought it back, and we're going to put it in the museum here.
One thing that's been very important to us being on the show and that exposure is to bring some attention to our community. You know, anything we can do to help develop and bring tourism to our community is important to us.
You know, after being on the show, we started doing a lot of festivals, meeting a lot of different people, doing fundraising to help raise money for people that's sick or hurt. We met a lot of friends. We've made 3 or 4 music videos. People's come here and filmed and done videos. We've done a lot of exciting stuff. Met a lot of people. I'm glad we was on the show.
We do appreciate the good opportunities that being on the show has brought to us and our community. It's brought a spotlight to the community, the history of moonshine. We've been able to be a part of keeping that history alive. We've been able to start a new festival in our community, the Bourbon and Moonshine Festival, which brings, you know, hundreds of people to town, a whole new audience to our town.
This trail will start bringing those people who have visited all the distilleries already and put all of those stamps on their bourbon passports. It'll bring them east. I think anybody that drives into Eastern Kentucky that's on this trail, this is going to be a unique bonus stop. It's going to be a lot different than the distilleries and the tasting rooms and places that you'll visit. It's because of its remote location. The road here is crooked as a dog's leg. Up a holler, around curves, 1 lane in places. But if you just keep going and you make it here, you're out in nature. There's hardly any cell phone service here, but don't let that scare you. And really, the experience of getting here is what's going to make this place. It's not just off the highway, stop, pop in, pop out, do your tasting, stamp your book, and go. This is an actual immersion experience.
We're so excited to be a part of this Moonshine Trail and what it's going to bring to our community. Come see us and enjoy this authentic moonshine experience.